really even going back to Ohio State, because this is more about Ohio State right now, think for the next 96 hours, waiting till 6 p.m. on Selection Sunday, is your name going to be called? You're talking it's going to be agonizing for Jake Diebler and his staff. They're going to be looking at every little thing. Do we think we're going to be in? The Big Ten commissioners going to be calling everybody on the committee and trying to get in their liaisons and trying to push for Ohio State to get in. It's a big deal.
Well, let's take a look at it, because here's the resume right now. 17-15. You saw, we haven't seen it really. 15 lost teams getting at-large bids into the NCAA tournament. The net ranking would indicate to you that's good enough. 37 is right in play. The quad one wins. They do have a lot of those, 6 of them. They've got a quad one, a 20-point win earlier this season against Kentucky that's doing a lot of work for them. But it's also a lot of losses, Jordan.
That net will take a dip into the 40s after this loss. The strength of schedule, all that stuff will take a minor dip after the loss. But here's the thing. Ohio State's got to have to look in the mirror and said, this was of our own doing if they don't make it in. You had an Indiana regular season finale. You didn't get it done. You had this opportunity against Iowa, a pretty good opportunity for you. You didn't get it done. They're now going to have a losing record in quad twos, 3 and 4 there. Now let's go glass half full and why I believe they have a reason to be optimistic going in. You look at a resume like Xavier's, a team that I do believe belongs in the tournament. Xavier's got 1 quad one win. 1. Ohio State's got 6. Ohio State has proven that if they get in this field, they can beat the likes of Purdue. They can beat the likes of Kentucky. They can beat the likes of Maryland. A team like that should have a place at the table. But now, because they didn't take care of business, they are a victim of watching and hoping that one-bid leagues end up being one-bid leagues. There's no bid stealers out there. Bubble teams, they have to root for losses. That's the position Ohio State's put themselves in. But if you look at that strength of schedule, you look at those quad one wins, I'm a big believer in the quad one win opportunities, how have you fared? They produced 6 wins against quad ones against some impressive teams.
They did lose 11 quad one games. That's the nature of being in the Big Ten this year. You do get a lot of opportunities, but did get 6 of those.
Can I just say 3? I think if I'm Ohio State, 3 things. Number 1, they did lose this game to Iowa, but it wasn't like it was losing to Washington where maybe it still is only a quad 2 loss. It wasn't even it was a first round, it wasn't a quad 4 loss.
Losing record.
That's correct. That's correct. But it still was a quad 2. Secondly, I will say they do have around in the 40s, a 41 non-conference strength of schedule. When the committee looks at the team sheets, one of the things they might look at, besides the quad one things, the quad one records are saying, okay, who went out and challenged themselves in the non-conference, because you can control that in your scheduling. So let's see. So Ohio State actually has a better non-conference strength of schedule than Indiana, for
100%. 100%.
Third thing, what I would also say in Ohio State's favor, there is no Pac-10 or Pac-12 this year. So that bid is gone. The ACC, we've said it so many times, is
very down.
I mean, it's so down, there might only get 3 bids. And there's not a lot of those lower-level teams where, like the Drake, who has 28, 29 wins, didn't win their conference tournament, and they might be a bid stealer.
Yeah, they won.
So they've got to fill out the bracket, which I do think's in favor for Ohio State going into Selection Sunday at this point.
Let me ask you this, and we've been on both sides of this. We've been the team in the tournament. We've been on teams that have been left out of it. If you're Ohio State, are you rooting for Indiana to win versus Oregon?
Lose.
Or you want them to lose? Now, I'm saying, do you want them to win because that was your most recent loss in the regular season, your final loss, and Indiana rising? That kind of helps you a little bit. But ultimately, you want them because you believe if Indiana loses, they're off the bubble, and Ohio State maybe slides in.
You're just trying to root for anyone that's near on the bubble to lose, because it just comes down to resumes, and maybe somebody in that room is saying, okay, these are comparable. Let's go to what can they have controlled in the non-conference. And Indiana did not play a great non-conference schedule, whereas Ohio State, based on the numbers, challenged themselves at a higher level. So it'll be interesting. Like Texas winning today does not help Ohio State.
Big Ten's been a great basketball league yet again.
Yeah.
So I do believe it's worth rewarding at the end of the day an Ohio State team that has generated 6 quad one wins in this conference, that has been a tough out in this conference. This is proven if they get in, they could be a second weekend team, and from there's anybody's guess. I look at a team like that before I ever look at a North Carolina who's 1-11 and saying they're kind of on the bubble. If North Carolina's kind of on the bubble, Ohio State's firmly in the field.
Sure. Bubba Cunningham, the AD at North Carolina, is the chair of the selection committee. Don't forget that.
Better not matter. I mean, Ohio
No,
State...
it shouldn't matter, and I don't think it will.
They walk out of the room.
They walk out of the room, but you still have human error involved. Don't forget.
I just think you got to
AI is not involved.
You got to hang on those 6 quad one wins because it proves to me they belong. That's what I'd hold on to